Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're continuing Maseches Orlah, Perek Aleph, Mishnayos Vav and Zayin. Mishnah Vav states, Netiya shel Orlah vel shel kilaya kerem, shnes arvim and netiyos. Right, you had a tree of Orlah, right? You know it's the first 3 years of the growth, but it got mixed up in the orchard with other trees that were obviously older trees. Or you have kilaya kerem. We talked about Maseches Kilayim. You have a vineyard that is, is kilayim, but I got mixed up with other vines. Harei zeh lo yilko. You should not pluck either apples from the apple tree or grapes from the vine. Im lakat. If you did do this, we'll talk about why in a second, why you shouldn't do it l'chafila. Im lakat yalav echan masayim. Then you need 201 to mevatel it. What does this mean? So there's 2 ways of explaining this. One way of explaining it, if you did do it, really you shouldn't do it. If you did do it, so it's batal because it's batal 1 in 200. That's the simple explanation. I'm going to give you a new explanation, which I think is the correct explanation. I'll give you in Ian Mitzion, so you're going to have to wait for Ian Mitzion, a special share to hear my new chiddush, this Mishnah, which is based on a Rambam. It's batal 1 in 200 as long as l'chadchila you shouldn't have kavana. You didn't have kavana. You made a mistake. You went and plucked some grapes from this mixture of vines, this mixture of trees, or an apple from the tree. You shouldn't have done it, but you did it. You could even do it l'chadchila, because it's really batal 1 in 200, and therefore it's batal 1 in 200 after you picked it. Zayin. The reason, according to what I'm saying, the explanation I'm saying, that the Tanna Kama holds that you shouldn't, if you did it b'kavana, you're not. If you do b'kavana, or worried you're going to mevatel isur l'chadchila. Here, it happened by itself. It got mixed in. It was a mistake. But there's an isur to mevatel isur l'chadchila. For example, if I have truma is batal 1 in 100, so if I have 45 parts chulin and 1 part truma, so I can't add 55 parts chulin to the mevatel. I can add mevatel isur l'chadchila, which is an isur, maybe the rice or the rabbanan. Same thing over here. We're worried that if you do it on purpose, so you take the tree, even though it got mixed in, it wasn't mevatel isur l'chadchila, it got mixed in by mistake. You shouldn't go and take and use the bittul over here, because we're worried the next time you might go mevatel isur l'chadchila. Rabbi Yossi says we're not worried about it. The Chum hold we are worried about it. That's the machlokas. Zayin ha'olim v'lulavim will make fun of musmadar mutarim ba'orlah v'ravai. Right, Orlah and at the ravai was the 4th year fruit, which you bring to Yerushalayim. It only applies to the actual fruits. For example, the leaves of an apple tree, or the lulavim, or the moist branches. Will make a funim. Right, when you're talking about a vine, right? It has water and moisture dripping from the leaves. Smother, according to Rav Adia Bartanur, is not talking about young fruits, because young fruit would be a pri. It's talking about the flower before the fruit starts to grow. Mutar ba'olah ravai. There's no isur of Orlah ravai by that. When nazir, also by nazir, it doesn't apply right by grapevines. These things, right? The leaves are not part of the isser of eating grapes. Asurim b'ashera, nazir, all these things say that it has to be something which is fruit. By Orlah and Ravai, it has to be fruit. When it comes to nazir, it has to be achila. These things are not normally eaten by people. By ashera, the Torah asher the entire tree, so therefore it's asher if it was worshipped as avodah zarah. So even the leaves are asher. Rabbi Yossi Omer asmadar asher. He says the smadar, even the blossoming flowers are asher. Neshu peri. It seems to me, right? The Rav says we don't pass like Rabbi Yossi. It seems to me, Neshu peri. I mean, if we're explaining smother to mean the blossoming flowers, how could he say that flowers are the pri? Now that I'm seeing this Mishnah clearly, I would say smother is unripe fruit, right? The Tanna Kama holds unripe fruit, right? It's smother, it's poser, it's just starting out. It's not considered pri. It's not considered Orlah. You're allowed to benefit. Rabbi Yossi says usher, and we pass on Tanna Kama, it's mutter. Let's say you take some juice, some sap out of an Orlah tree, and you put something in there. You take gavina, right? A lot of times you'll keep cheese. You want it to ferment or something like that. You'll put it in sap or something like that to keep it there for a long time to ferment. So it absorbs, after 24 hours, it absorbs some of the Orlah. Is the cheese usher? So according to Elazar, it's asr. Amar Yeshua, Shamati B'Hera, Shamami B'Srafa, Alim B'Srafa, Ikarim Mutter. If it's sap that comes from the leaves or it comes from the roots, then it's mutter. B'Srafa, Pagim, Asr, Mnesha, and Pri. If you do it from the Pagim, which According to the Rav, it's talking about a young fruit. I would say Pagim is talking about an old, dried out fruit. Then it's Aser B'nei Peri, because then it's considered a pre, and therefore really Tam Ke'ikar. If you're Maimid, if you keep something absorbed in liquid for 24 hours, so therefore after 24 hours it gets the taste, it gets the Tam of that thing. And Orlah is Aser B'hana, so the Tam would Aser B'hana. That's exclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Iyun Mitzion, where we discuss Mishnah Vav, a Nukshab. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Coming up next.